Well, hello there, and welcome to another Warbird Wednesday. My name is Fred Bell. I am the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Area Museum, and today Greg is, of course, sending a powerful memory as we hop down Tanker Lane. Oh, Greg, that was pretty good, you got to admit. This one is a little, there's things flopping around up there. Are they properly flopping? Pretty much. Okay, we'll get this thing off. All right, this is actually one of the easier ones recently. There we go. We'll toss it off camera. Ooh, nice catch by the Kenny. So today we are going into kind of really the modern era. Now this particular model is like cast iron. It is like, hello, it is very heavy. We are going to go to the KC-46, the Pegasus. I'll throw up a plan view of the airplane. This now, I mean, these things are, I talked about the 135, the KC-135 kind of looking like a 707. This looks like pretty much any modern airliner, and also the big fans, tons of thrust. It is a very contemporary design, let's say. So we'll go from there. The first flight was in 2015. So it flew in 2015. It was introed in 2019, so relatively new. Now, but for you aficionados out there, that is with an asterisk because there are a whole bunch of issues with this airplane. So somebody at home is going to say, oh, it really wasn't introduced in 2019. Well, it was accepted in 2019. This airplane has had more trouble than you can imagine. It was the winner of the United States Air Force's KC-X program, and the KC-X program was essentially a request for proposal, an RFP that they put out, and the idea was to replace the KC-135s, but the real early versions of the airplane. Remember, if you go back to the KC-135, there was different flights of those aircraft, and many of them were re-engined, up to about 500 of them. But the early models were getting pretty long in the tooth, and they were just no longer efficient. So the KC-X program envisioned 129 aircraft built by 2027. So far, 56 aircraft have been built. Now, the KC-X program initially started with an interim step where the United States Air Force was going to lease 100 KC-767s. That's what they were originally going to do. And do not confuse this aircraft with 767 tankers, because there are Boeing 767 tankers that are being used as well that look similar to this airplane, but they are not this type of aircraft. They're not the military United States Air Force version of the aircraft. The only KC-46s that are serving with United States Air Force, Japan, and Israel. There may be other folks that may eventually bid on the airplane from a tanking standpoint. Now, the original bid with Boeing, as I said, this thing is a bola or a passel of needles. The original bid with the KC-46 was that they were going to use the 777, and the Boeing 777 was going to compete against the Airbus, an A330 tanker version. The Airbus was going to put with another American manufacturer. They're going to partner with that. That did not happen, and then you had this whole lease thing in there. What happened in that with the proposal to do the lease was that Congress basically threw a fit. John McCain and some other people thought it was ridiculously expensive and the contract was too rich, and they went back to the drawing board. So in 2007, Boeing changed the platform, pulled the 777, went to a new contract, and then proposed the 767. We'll draw you a diagram so you can figure out what happened. The Between 2009 and 2011, the 767, the KC-46 was selected on the 767 platform. So that's when it happened. And that's why I'm saying the introduce sounds relatively new, but this particular replacement airframe has been in the works probably close to about like 18, 19 years. So it's gone on for a long time. It is technically, when you get into the Air Force version of the aircraft, now we're going to get down to brass tacks. It's a 767-200 with a 787 cockpit. That's a Fred fun fact for you there. So that's now the folks that worked on this are going to be my salute today. So when you bring a program online, and especially one like this, remember we're talking going all the way back to 2006 with the KCX program. It's double tough. This one has been really difficult. There is no question with the KC-135 fleet, we have to have a replacement where those airplanes are essentially worn out. These support airplanes are flown, and we've talked about, like in cargo airplanes, how much they are flown over their design spec. You know, every airplane has a fatigue life, and that's so many thousand hours of flying. These aircraft, all of these support aircraft, get used up, and depending on the op tempo of the forward fleet, remember the tip of the spear when you're fielding these aircraft, there's an entire supply chain, as the Russians have found out in Ukraine, that if you don't have that supply chain in place, you're not going anywhere. And so we have a fairly good supply chain, but all of these aircraft get used very, very hard. So to the crews that of the KC-46 that have busted their buns, especially the operational crews, I am going to salute you today. With my radiographer assistant, I am going to salute you with Unicorn Yak. This is an Avery's. These people at Avery's are like sick. They are truly sick. Totally gross soda. It's so soda disgusting. Not only that, but they're clever. All right, let's see. Raspberry orange cream. There is a California redemption certificate, but that's it. So they don't tell you, there ain't nothing on this bottle that tells you what's in it or how many calories. I am doomed. So we'll go ahead. Let's totally gross soda. It's so disgusting. It's everywhere. All right, we're going to give it a little bit of a fizz. We dropped the top. But, all right, there's a little bit of a fizz on that, but I think this one is pretty darn great, although it is ice cold, which is nice. Oh, yeah, that's done. Not only is it done, that is nasty. Oh, second sip. Wow. Oh, yeah, that's as far as I'm going with that one. That one is a dead soldier. There is nothing left. Maybe if it was carbonated, it might have been a little bit better, but it is done. So the KC-46 is the future. Now, let's talk about what the future looks like. The Boeing Corporation, it had FAA certification in 2018, so it went into the operational squadrons in 2019. So now I'm tying a bow around that whole thing I said before. It has, Boeing went into, because of all the rigmarole on this airplane that went into contracting, Boeing went into basically covering any cost overruns. You want to venture a guess as to how much Boeing has lost on this program to date? Try $5 billion on this aircraft so far, and it's just coming into service. It has still had problems with the wings. It's had problems with the boom. It's had problems with, part of the problem with the boom is the bow wave, what they call a bow wave effect, which is turbulence created by the bow as it's going over the boom, and they've fixed that, but the airplane has had a lot of problems. So Boeing has made quite a bit of investment in this. On top of it, the aircraft also has the MCAS system, which is the terrain avoidance system in it, which, where did that happen? But the MAX, the Boeing MAX aircraft. The only difference, and the thing that saved this airplane, is with the terrain avoidance system in this aircraft, if the pilot puts, moves the stick, puts information in the stick, the terrain avoidance system shuts off. So you don't have to turn off breakers and all that other stuff that got the 737 MAXs in trouble. But they had to work through that to make sure that they didn't have issues there. Now, it has, it can carry 10% more cargo than a KC-135. So not only is it a more efficient refueler, but on the plus side, it's also a better cargo carrier. Now, the interesting thing, and Greg can maybe throw something up, is in a KC-135, the operator laid down and looked at the aircraft coming in. In this aircraft, the boom operators are in the front, and they're basically operating with cameras and a really slick, if Greg can actually get some video of this, camera system in the back of the airplane to do the refueling. Now, the one thing about this, as we put this airplane back on the stand, you say, well, how many more of them are going to be built? I would venture a guess that while the Air Force, you cannot create drones that are cargo aircraft, but I don't think we'll ever see the numbers of these aircraft or any refueling aircraft built in the numbers that we've seen in the past, the 800 number. And the reason for that is drones. I think you're going to see refueling turned over more and more to drones, and drones will be either refueling other drones or they'll be refueling fighter airplanes, but you won't see this type of setup probably in 20-25 years. And you have to figure the airplane has an operational life, if you look at the others, about 50 years, 45 years. So I think this may be the end of the line when it comes to kind of manned refueling aircraft. The only saving grace might be that cargo component, that they need cargo, and that's going to require a heavy, it's going to require a big airplane. Now, if you want to go out and check this airplane out and get on the flight line of the KC-46, all you need is this Boeing bag, and you can write your name and KC-46 program right there, and that will get you arrested if you try to go out and look at the airplane. But this bag, and I can tell you, I'm a proud owner of one of these bags because I really like it. It is an excellent overnight bag. If you would like one of those, click on the link. Jason will happily run down to the post office and mail one gleefully to you, and you will have it and you will be able to use it. This is a great bag. I suggest you get one. We cannot do all the work that we do here without your donations. In fact, you can see we're working on the trainer behind me. If you can, click on that link, send us a few shekels. We could surely appreciate it. If you have come across us on YouTube and said, what is that strange man in those hats talking about warbirds, and you like long-form warbird videos with men in strange hats, I'm your guy. Give us a subscription, forward us to other people that you know that like warbird descriptions with strange hats and funny drinks, and we will band together on YouTube. Give us a subscription and a comment. If you come across us on Facebook, give us a comment and a like. We appreciate that. We'll respond back to you. My name is Fred Bell. I am the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum. Thanks so much. Have a great day.